Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration, and we're going to talk about the 51 Maxim here today. This truck, we just keep taking this more and more apart because, well, we got the radiator out, and I saw a little weep from the radiator, and I know what's going to happen. It's going to blow up in another year or two, and we're going to be right back here again. So we're getting that fixed. And we've got updates on this motor. This Hercules 6-cylinder here. It's an RXL-DH. It is a bigger motor. It's in nice shape, and pistons, things like that, crank, bearings are really good. We don't need to touch that stuff. But the head gaskets were leaking. We've got gaskets on order. And I want to show you guys the valve train down here. We've ever seen in here before. You can see we've got all the springs still in there, but this is what a flathead engine looks like on the side, inside the side covers. And we found I'm gonna go over here and show you the valve we found. We actually found a valve. The spring retainer had broken in half, and it was number 6 cylinder. And here's the spring retainer. And this is supposed to be one piece. And well, it's in 2 pieces. And we found one of these valve keys down in the pan when we took the oil pan off. We also found this cap which goes on top of the each of the lifters. It actually goes inside here when it's all assembled, and that was laying in the bottom of the pan. So it goes to show you that when you're working on these trucks, you got to take the oil pan off and inspect things and look. Even if the engine's running good, you got to see if something is amiss. And this engine didn't run good when it came in. It had a problem with overfueling, but we also found this valve problem, and I'm sure, I bet you the valve had a little bit to do with something with gas flow into the engine and stuff, but it was certainly something else wrong besides that. But we did find that problem, so you gotta check this stuff. So that's why we're going through all this. And while we're here, we're gonna do a valve job. Let me just show you the valve here. We're gonna do a valve job here because, you know, these seats, it was working, but we're here. It's stupid not to. It's a flathead. We got the head off. Let's just do it, you know. It doesn't take very much time to do that once you get the engine apart. So we're focused on the engine right now. And I also wanted to check, you know, we're doing a wiring harness on this truck. I've talked to you guys about wiring harnesses before, and, you know, this stuff is, you know, 1951. So what is that, 73 years old? It's, you know, it's seen better days. It's cloth wire. It needs to be replaced. We want to prevent a fire. We don't want this thing to burn to the ground. Is the sheet metal good? Yeah, it's fine. There's no rust in this truck. The frame's good, sheet metal's good, front end's good, rear end, all that stuff is fine. But we want to check this stuff, and so we're doing that, and we're going through the brakes. Here's the backing plate, and we've got these all painted up nice, and we're waiting on our shoes to come back. We checked out the suspension under here. Nothing wrong with the suspension. It's fine. Everything's good. We're going to be greasing things up. We have to check out the steering yet. Haven't looked into that yet. But somebody greased this thing, and that's a thing that a lot of people that have older vehicles, they don't do, is, you know, maintain it. It's not a modern car or truck. You got to maintain this stuff. You got to get under there. You got to get greasy. I know you don't like to do it. I don't like to do it either, but you got to do it. And you know, you can see somebody got under here over the years. There's tons of grease everywhere. That's good. That's a good thing. All covered in grease is not bad. Nice, dry, and clean is bad, because that means something's all worn out, or most likely worn out. We'll come back here. Got all our wheel parts here, all clean, ready to go back on. Got all our brake parts all clean over here. This was all covered in rust. We put this in our tumbler. This thing looked terrible when we got started, and Look at it. Look what the tumbler does. It's just so nice. It just works great. So this is all ready to go back on. All nice and clean. Put some anti-seize on there. The drums are in great shape on this thing. They don't. We had to inspect them a little closer, but I don't think they're going to need to be turned. I don't see any reason to do that really, but we'll give them one last check. What else do we do here? We had the fuel tank off today. Put some new hoses on here, and there's our fill going in there. We had this tank out, and I wanted to check that sending unit, and the sending unit was in great shape, so it was working, and we could put a pigtail on it, brand new, and everything's all checked out, ready to go on that. The fuel tank is clean. It was really, really nice inside. And I was digging back here. Let's check out in here. I was digging in here this morning to see if I could get on top of the fuel tank somehow, and I found these aluminum hose ramps here. If you look at this, some people might think this is a aluminum ramp to load a ATV into your back of your truck, but it's made for 2.5-inch hose. Back in the day, everybody used 2.5. You didn't have 4-inch supply line or 5-inch supply line. Everybody used 2.5, or they had 3-inch, which is the same, very similar size. It's very close. 3-inch was a very common supply, or 2.5, and this fits, I would guess, 3-inch hose. And so you take this out and fold it out, and you can actually allow cars to drive over the hose without damaging anything. So that's what these are for. And you can see by this right here, they were used quite a bit. There's the scraping from the road when you fold this out. Looks like the aluminum's all scraped off of it. That was on the road, probably used quite a bit. So that was kind of a cool find this morning. This guy closed up, a little oil on that. And we've got all our exhaust parts up here. We've been searching for some exhaust stuff. We actually found these parts for the exhaust. Let me climb up here. We actually found these parts for this exhaust. It's 3.5-inch exhaust. 3.5-inch exhaust is not easy to find parts for. You go to your local exhaust place. Most places don't have it. We went to the supplier in Hartford. They couldn't get 3.5 elbows. They could get us the pipe, they could get us the muffler, but they couldn't get us the elbows. So we actually went to Speedway, and Speedway had an entire 3.5-inch exhaust kit, and it was like 150 bucks, whatever. So that was really cool. So we got all our elbows and everything in here. We got our clamps here from our friends at O'Reilly Auto Parts. We love O'Reilly Auto Parts. We go there all the time. And we've got our muffler here, 3.5-inch pipe. We've got our original pipe here. And again, when you're working on something, don't throw the old stuff out. That's how you make the new stuff. So we're going to match this exactly and put this exhaust on when we're ready. So that is that. And let's walk around over here. We got all our gasoline saved up over here. That's going to go back in the tank today. And here's our other brake backing plate over here, ready to go. And even our bearings here, you know, we took the time and went and cleaned up the bearings here. You know, you inspect the bearing, you're going to look at the rollers, and you're going to want to see if there's pitting on these rollers. You're going to want to see if there's heavy gouging or heavy scratching. If there's not any of that stuff, you don't need to replace these. This stuff is expensive. I mean, one of these bearings is probably 40-50 bucks, this one bearing. This is called a bearing cone, okay? If this proper terminology, this is a bearing cone. It's a tapered roller bearing. This is the cone, and then you have the mating bearing cup that goes with this, which is the, you know, what some people will call the bearing race. It is a race, but it's called the bearing cup, and the cone fits with the cup. So we've got those on order. Put that back there. And again, you know, take the time to clean up your parts. You know, you don't have to have a special tumbler like we do. You know, just, you know, degrease this stuff. You know, get a bucket of gasoline or whatever you're going to use, diesel fuel, cleaner, whatever you have. You know, take the time to clean this stuff, wire brush it, and when you go to put it together, it's going to go together nice instead of fighting with it. And that, I think, is about it. Oh, we've got one more thing here. We got our brand new V-belts here too. I got to put these in the back of the truck. These guys, we got these also at O'Reilly Auto Parts. These numbers crossed right over from this. We actually had a Hercules belt on this truck. It said Hercules on it. I don't know if I've still got it around here. I think it got thrown away, but it had Hercules on it. It was in terrible condition. And the Hercules number crossed at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I couldn't believe it. They got us these green stripe belts here from Gates that are absolutely fantastic. They're industrial grade belts. Let me see, are these made in USA? Where are they made? Let's find out here. Yes, they are. Made in USA, right there on the belt. So, American-made parts going on an American-made fire truck. I love it. I'm gonna put these in the back. One nice thing about having a fire truck is you have a built-in parts depot right in the back. All right, so let's see. Let's check out our exhaust manifold here. Just wanted to point out these two things here. This exhaust manifold had a crack in it from just heat over the years and being stressed out from being run. This thing was probably cherry red a bunch of times at a fire pumping water, and it developed a crack here. So we're in the process of trying to braze this thing here. Sometimes cast iron is really difficult to braze. This one's fighting us a little bit. We're going to go out and get some flux for this thing and see what we can do tomorrow. But we do braze in here, and it's almost like a 50-50 whether it's going to work really well or not. But I've seen guys use coat hangers before with no flux and just go right with a coat hanger. We're trying this this brass flux here. In fact, I'll show you the flux here. This is Blue Demon flux braze rod. So we're trying this stuff out, see how it works. I've had this laying around for a while, and so Drew was working on that there. Also the water pump here. Unfortunately, we had a little oops the other day, and we were trying to take this thing apart, and we've never removed one of these before. We were pushing on it the wrong way, and it broke. So, you know, the point of showing you this is that it doesn't matter who's working on stuff, whatever, stuff happens. You know, things break, it does happen. Luckily for us, it's very rare, but the other good news is that a friend of mine has one of these water pumps. So we're going to get the spare pump and fix this up for our customer. I'm not going to have to pay for this part of it. This is on us. So, but it's you know, we were pushing on it. You can see the gear. The gear got bent up here a little bit. You could probably fix this, but you know, we'll try to save some of these parts. But just, you know, you gotta. If you haven't been in there before and you don't have a diagram, it makes it tough sometimes. So we had a little problem. But anyway, just want to show you that you know, stuff happens. Well, take a look out in the yard here. Here's the armory building. And everybody take care, stay cool, and keep that old iron running.